Welcome back, everybody. I have the privilege and the honor to sit down with the Director of the Office of Labor Standards in Seattle, Dylan Orr. Dylan, thank you for being here.
Absolutely, it's a very pleasure.
Thank you. Well, you know, it's fascinating because I love talking about people's positions and what they do and why it is they do what they do. But for me, I really love talking about people's journeys. I think that we are more alike than we are different. And I think that it's the journey that connects us. It's the journey and the humanity of everyone that connects us. And so I'm glad you're here to talk about the journey.
I'm happy, and I couldn't agree more with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, you know, thinking about it, what was the first time you realized as a young child that the body you were born in was not the body you were comfortable in?
First of all, I would say that it's somewhat of a misconception to describe it that way. I would say that gender identity really is more in your head than it is anywhere. So I would say it was from my earliest moments of self-awareness, really, which I think really start happening around the age of, I don't know, 3 years old, or maybe earlier than that. I was verbally saying that I was a boy, so that kind of worked at that point in time. But I knew it was beyond that.
Well, in the White House blog last June, you said, "From my earliest thoughts, I knew I was different. I knew because the world told me so." So when you realized that you were different, or you felt that difference, could you tell us, what did that feel like? And did you know what to call it?
There was no language at the time. I didn't have any mentors, nobody to point to. The word transgender hadn't come into our common vocabulary at that point. So I just knew that I was different. And I just remember on the playground, and I like to think that things are a little bit different today, but I'm not quite sure that we're quite there. I was asked and just taunted a lot of questions about, what are you? Are you a boy or a girl? Are you a boy or a girl? Are you an it? You know, why are you doing this? Why are you playing that way? Why are you, I mean, just lots of questions. And I didn't get them just from kids, I got them from adults too. And at the time, I just figured I would live that way for the rest of my life, just feeling like there's something wrong with me is really what I felt, because I didn't hear anyone say affirmingly, you know, that's okay. A lot of folks identify these days as gender queer or non-binary or other, and don't use he or she pronouns. So people might think, well, yes, Dylan should use the men's bathroom. But, you know, I also lived for a long time where on that outside, I looked very androgynous, and that actually is the time when you face the most discrimination, because people want to fit you into a binary. That's the time when I was, had experiences of people literally physically pulling me out of bathrooms and telling me that I couldn't be there. And so many of the trans community deals with those issues, because their presentation, regardless of how they identify, doesn't fit into society's expectations and standards. So we have a long, long way to go with that topic.
So you were the first person, openly transgendered person, appointed to a position within a U.S. presidential administration. That's huge. I mean, that's big. Did you set out to break down barriers, or were you just going through fulfilling your passion and that just happened?
Well, the position part just happened, and then I was focused on the position. But I also knew that I was fulfilling a historic role. So I always go about my jobs in multiple ways. So I was focused on the work that I was doing, but I was also able to do a lot of work around LGBT-related policies within the federal government space. Things have dramatically shifted, and I will, give a lot of thanks to a lot of people for that, including the president. But it's dramatic, the difference today, where we are today, versus where we were in 2009, which was when I stepped into the Department of Labor for the first time.
Looking back at it, what did that feel like to see the change and the growth, and knowing that you were a part of making that happen and really opening people's minds about the community?
In my position in the administration, I was pinching myself almost every day, and that wasn't just because of what I was doing for the transgender community or the LGBT community, but for people with disabilities, which was my job there. Just there just were amazing things happening every single day.
Now you transition from that position to the director of the Office of Labor Standards in Seattle. So can you tell us about that position and what your role is?
That's a position that I'm in now, have been in for the last 5 months. I'm really, really excited about that position too, which is also quite an honor. So I've been entrusted to lead the agencies that is enforcing Seattle's labor standards.
But is one of your ultimate goals to have people move past tolerance into acceptance?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's two totally different things, I think.
Completely different things. And I really think that in order to get there, typically people need to know people. I mean, that is typically what shifts the attitudes. Other things can shift the laws and policies, but it really is about meeting people, I think, and not just celebrities that people are watching on reality TV shows.
When you look back at the civil rights movement, college students and young people played a major part in crafting that movement and crafting those that organization. And so now, this is human rights. Now, do you think that college students and young people still play a major part in really kind of pushing the movement for civil rights in this issue?
No question. I think that it's only recently that we've probably gotten there, and well, from my observation, noticed that young people are more and more and more likely to be out and proud on their campuses. I think that our young people have an incredible voice and power, and I'm really hopeful about the next generation.
Whether one is black, whether one is white, whether one is Christian or Muslim or gay or bi or transgendered, whatever we are, the common thread that is running between us is humanity. And at the end of it all, when this is all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be known as? Not just you stood up for transgender rights, or not just, you were in a certain position, but who do you want Dylan Orr to be known as?
I think you just said it with the humanity piece. I mean, honestly, that's what I believe in. I hope that I'm known for bringing people together and for giving people a sense of humanity if they didn't have it before.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, we'll be right back with more of Hofstra Today. Stay with us.